Okay, hey guys, welcome to my training guide. Please pick from an area here to view that specific training area, or just go from the very beginning and I'll go through each area and then onto the party quests. Okay, so the first area that we go to is the Golems Temple. I generally tend to train in the first map, which is the entrance map. There's no longer a mini dungeon, or I don't really think there's any mini dungeons in Maple anymore. I think they've removed the majority of them. But there normally was a mini dungeon in the top portal through that way. You can still go through there and train on the mixed golems, but I just prefer this map because it's a lot, well, it's smaller in terms of spawn size, and then if you have a Kana in here, there's always mobs to kill and not much movement, and all you have to do is keep moving up. So yeah, and when you've got a skill like wings that I have there, although you don't get it first job for pirates, it's easy to move around. But most classes get teleport at first job, so you can teleport up. As you can see, the monsters are level 15, so you can train here from level 10 to probably 25 is probably the latest. You can move to Gold Beach a little bit earlier than 25. Gold Beach is through here. See how Florina Beach has been blocked off? People would normally train there. But yeah, Gold Beach is a good addition. If you're not hitting a lot of high numbers, you can move to the first Gold Beach map at 25 and just attack the clams. These things are level 36, I believe. They're not very hard to kill, but yeah, so you can train in here. There's runes in every map, so yeah, it's a good way to just start off in Gold Beach. After a few levels here, you can move on to the last map, or you can just progressively work through, but I'd just suggest training in like this map or the next map forward in Gold Beach Seaside 2. But yeah, then once you're higher up, you go to the end map here, Hardwave Beach, and yeah, it's a big map, and the mobs are pretty good, even without having a Kana in here, to be honest. But if you did have a Kana in here and HS, the EXP is pretty good. I generally train with a Kana and a Bishop, so yeah, I've got the best of both worlds. But yeah, so as you can see, it's a pretty good map to attack in. And these mobs are level 42, so you can use the runes from level 32, and I'd suggest staying here till at least level 40. If you don't have that high of range, I'd probably stay here till 42 or 46, just depending on when you feel like it's getting slow and you want to move on, because the next area that I suggest is Drakes, but it's better to stay to 46 in this map, or you can go to Skeletons as well. But the next map is Drakes. They are level 66. Firstly, I'll show you how to get to Gold Beach, because it's a bit confusing. But yeah, if you stay at this map till level 46, then you're within 20 levels of Drake, so therefore you'll get the full EXP, but you'll still miss them. So in order to get to Gold Beach, you talk to Pilot Irvin, and he'll take you to 6 Path Crossways to go back to Victoria Island, but to get to Gold Beach, he'll just be up here. It's just before all the transportation, boats to get to Edelstein, Erive, and Orbis. So yeah, you can talk to this guy and he'll take you to Gold Beach. So there's no time delay. You can move straight there, and then yeah, you just go to the right. Even though I'm walking to the left, I'm just showing where the NPC is again. So yeah, now we'll move on to Sleepywood and Drakes. And yeah, these guys, some people tend to go to a different area before this, but I just prefer to go straight here, because the Drakes map is a pretty big map, and it's a 4 platform map. As you can see, someone's already training here, so I'm not going to attack and KS them, but I'll just look at how they're training. And yeah, see, so even without Kana, they're hitting a lot of mobs, and they're missing a little bit, but not that much. Well, I don't actually see any misses. That's interesting. Oh no, there's one. But yeah, so it's a good map, especially with Kana in it. You can imagine what the mobs are like. The only annoying thing about this map is the elite mobs that spawn, so the giant drakes. But yeah, that's only every once in a while. They're level 66, as I said, so it's best to be 46 before you come here. And yeah, they give about 300 EXP per kill, and yeah, it's not too bad. So yeah, now we move out of Victoria Island, and this will be the only time you'll have to move when you're training, and it's to Ariant and the Sahel 2 map, where there's scorpions and sand rats. So this map, these mobs are level 89 and 90, so I'd suggest staying at Drake's till 70, and then you can come here. Just because, you know, it's best to be within 20 levels of these guys, because you'll get a decreased amount of EXP if you don't come here, you know, within 20 levels of the mobs. And then you have to be within 10 levels of the mobs to be able to use the rune to begin with. But yeah, so these guys, it's a nice flat map for a lot of classes that have mobbing skills that can just move from left to right. And yeah, especially like Xenons with their little rocket ship that they ride in third job, you can just like move from right to left, mowing them down. And yeah, it's pretty good to attack in. You'd only stay here from 70 to 75. As I said, they're 89, and I'll get the other one. So yeah, scorpions are 90. So yeah, you'd only stay here till 75, and then you'd move on to roids. At level 70, you can also go to Romeo Juliet PQ, but I'll talk about that when I get to the PQ discussion area. But first I'll show the roids map, which is area C1. So yeah, it's a good map. The elite mobs don't actually spawn in here because security camera does, so that's one major positive. It means that, you know, nothing bad will happen to you because of the elite mob, because the elite mobs can do all sorts of things to you that just screw up your training, whereas the security camera doesn't do that much damage. It gives a lot of good EXP. You could spend a lot of your levels going around hunting security cameras if you wanted to. I don't tend to do that. If I'm not doing Romeo and Juliet PQ, I'm training here, just because, especially with Kana and Bishop, it's really good EXP. So yeah, I don't have the security card because yeah, I didn't train here on this Corsair when I made it last weekend. But yeah, so I'll just show you what it is. It's in boss tab. And yeah, so it does have a lot of HP, but it does give a lot of EXP, so it's pretty good to kill. And yeah, it's level 97, so it's only 2 levels above roids. So now I'll move on to the PQ area, because between level 100 and 160, there's very limited areas that give good EXP in terms of training. So it's better to do party quests, either individually or collectively, and I'll just start off from the very beginning. Okay, so the first PQ that we have here, and I've moved back to when I was level 100 on the Corsair, because this was when I recorded it. When I was training it, I streamed training this character. So yeah, with Romeo and Juliet PQ, you need 4 people. I've got my Corsair plus 3 mules, a Kana, a Bishop, and just a random character just to fill the slot. And what you do in Romeo and Juliet PQ is you do the first couple of stages until you reach a certain map where the mobs just keep on respawning. So yeah, it might take a little bit longer for me because I'm just doing it by myself, but when you've got a party of people that you're doing it with, you'll get through these stages pretty quickly, just because, yeah, more bodies, you know, less movement. And probably finding the switches can be the longest time, because you've got to go around to the hidden little things in each area and try to find the switch. But yeah, so there's only 2 maps after this that you have to clear before you get to the map that you train in. And the second map that we'll go through is very easy to clear, because all you have to do is kill all the mobs and then it lets you through. The next one is you have to collect a couple of items and fill up the beakers, but that's about it. So the switch is over here, so you can see it's a big map. Okay. I think it might be here. No? There. Yeah, so you just press it, it lets you through, and you don't have to worry about well, if you're doing it like I do it, you just can leave your characters here. So yeah, this is the second map where you just have to kill, I think it's about 40 odd monsters, and it's, if you're soloing it, it's really good EXP, just all the way through if you're on a 2x card, and just make sure to have HS and stuff like that. So yeah, you can get through it pretty quickly. And it's similar EXP to what the other map that you train in is like, but you know, obviously these ones don't. These ones respawn, the ones in the previous map don't, but these ones just respawn so you can get the drop items that you require. So you need, I think it's either, I'm not sure what the exact amount is actually, I'd say it's between 7 and 10 of these liquid bottles, and you need to put them in each of these beakers until they're full and not leaking anymore, because as you can see, there's a crack in the bottom of them, and then the crack fixes once you get to the full amount. So yeah, what I did here is I just turned my pet loot on and just kept attacking and then clicking at the same time, because you can only hold one of these things at a time, so therefore you've got to keep picking them up and then clicking on the thing. So yeah, especially, well, I'm on a 2x drop card as well as being on a 2x EXP card, so that's why they're dropping quickly. But yeah, it's not that hard to clear. And again, with more people that you'll most likely be doing it with, you guys will clear it really quickly. So yeah, it's really important just to get through to the main training area, which is the next map. And yeah, it's a good PQ. It's you can even keep doing it past like the 120s, 130s. If there's nothing else for you to do, you can always come back and do this PQ. So there's no limit to how long you can do it. Obviously, you can't do it after level 200, which is why I didn't show doing it on the Corsair in its current state, because Nexon need to increase the amount or the level amount for people to PQ, because after level 200 you're just on your own, so to speak. But you can still do stuff like Evo Lab, but not the collective PQ requirements. So this is the area. As you can see, it's a big map, so it's good for, like, you don't have to just come here by yourself. I just take advantage of the ability to come here by myself, but if you were to come here with a group of people, you could each divide the map into 4 areas. 2 people could take the 2 top platforms, and then 2 people could take the bottom area on the left and the right. So it's a good area to train in. I'm just bringing my mules through at the moment, so bring HS through. It's probably better to have a character that's outside the, well, if you're going to be soloing, try to have something that's outside the 40 gap of your current character. So with my Corsair, I'm using a Kana that's, I think, 192. So therefore it's 91 levels higher than my Corsair at its current state, which means that for the whole time training here, it won't leech any EXP off me. And I think the Bishop's actually level 200 as well. So yeah, it's a good way to do it, because then you don't have to worry about leeching the mules. So you only need one character that's outside the gap to not give EXP to the party, and then it doesn't all go to you, but you just, you know, get your EXP for what you kill, and it's just not shared. So yeah, and then you just start grinding, and probably moving left to right. It's a bit laggy because I downloaded this off my stream, and yeah, the stream quality when you download it into a video format is not the best. But yeah, so just move left to right, and then every once in a while clear the top platforms, and you can see how fast the EXP bar is moving as well. So it's a good place to train from, well, 100 to probably 120, 130, and then if you've got the Evo Lab cores, which we'll talk about next, I think next, or we'll do Monster Park Extreme probably. Yeah, if you've got the cores, you can go onto Evo Lab, but you can even just stay here till 130, 140, and then go off and do RA, imps, or, you know, other stuff like that. So yeah, on to, I think, well, yeah, we'll do Monster Park Extreme next, which is an area that I don't tend to do, but I'll still give it a mention. Okay, so I've had to use a different character again because I didn't do this on my Corsair when it was within the level limit. For Monster Park Extreme, it's from level 100 to 140. You can do the other areas in Monster Park, but it's probably not as beneficial. You can also use Monster Park Extreme for benefiting your main character after it's outside level 140. If you go on a mule like I'm doing now, you can farm attack potions, attack speed increase potions, and magic attack potion, as well as gold EXP potions, which are a bit rarer than the other 3. So yeah, what you do is you can stay in here and train for as long as you like, for 10 minutes, or you can wait till you get a message saying boss detected, and then you can go on and kill the boss, and then the boss is the one that drops the potions that are beneficial to your main character. So you can do both. You can stay in here for 10 minutes, or stay in here for 9.5 minutes, and then summon the boss with 30 seconds to go, as long as you can kill the boss within 30 seconds. And then, yeah, you can go out and you can do it another 2 times, I think. You get given 3 Monster Park Extreme tickets per day, you can stack them up. So if you don't get around to training for that day and you're still within the 100 to 140 level area, you can just stack up a lot of these cards and then go and do it and train really quickly. Or on the other hand, if you're farming pots and you don't have time to do it for that day, you can go in, grab some tickets and then log out, and they'll just stack up. I think they stack up to 10, but then you can have more than 10 obviously. So I think it took roughly about a minute and a half for this boss to be detected. There it is. So you just go up, talk to Spiglet, and it'll summon. It summons the boss that's relevant to this area, but if you have a chance of getting EXP gold potions if it summons a Rhino. Rhino is pretty rare. I've only encountered it 2 or 3 times in my time farming these potions, but I don't tend to do it that much anymore. Because on my main Xenon I've got enough attack speed to not need green potions, but I'll probably do it on my Corsair just for some more attack speed. So it is pretty beneficial if you're going to do things like dojo or just any sort of bossing. It'll just increase your damage output quite a lot, and it can help out in some areas where if you attack quicker, it means you can move faster, so you can get yourself out of a tight situation like Chaos Bonbon or Vellum or anything like that. So I'm lagging a little bit here. But so now we'll go on to the next area, which is Evolab. And with Evolab, it's an interesting PQ. Well, it is a sort of party quest because you can go in with more than one person, but you can go in by yourself and not have to bring any characters in. I suggest, you don't want to bring any characters in that are above your level. So for example, if you bring in like a level 200 Bishop and a level 200 Kana, the monster levels will increase to 160, and if you're at the current level that the Corsair is, you'll miss quite a lot. So I think I went in at 105 because I didn't feel like doing Romeo Juliet PQ, and I brought in some mule characters to increase the spawn and things like that, and I went in, tried to attack, and I died straight away. So you can only do this 5 times a day, and you've got a time limit of 30 minutes per PQ. So it's probably better for the lower levels, just to go in by yourself, use the monster cores that they provide from the Monster Core shop, which is, the best ones are monster population 30% and monster HP times 5, and then drop percent 10%. Because those are the best ones you can get from the shop. Obviously better ones drop from in here, but if you use a drop core, it means you'll increase your chance of getting more cores and more chance of getting better cores. So it's a good PQ. You can use it for farming as well. What I'm doing here is I'm farming silver ores for my smithing in the Ardent Mill for the professions. This is probably the best area to farm things like that, as well as herbs and minerals and equips that you can disassemble for monster item crystals. I'll do a guide around that at a later date and go into it more detail, and I'll involve Evolab again just to demonstrate what I'm actually referring to here. But in terms of a good place to train, if you get bored of Romeo and Juliet PQ or you don't have anyone to run with, you can always just do this one instead. The monster level will be based around your general level, and when you level, the monster level will increase as well if you're in by yourself. So if you do want to bring a mule in, such as HS, I'd suggest bringing in a level 100 Bishop, just because if you're higher than it, then it'll balance between the level 100 Bishop and your current level. So therefore you won't be missing a lot. So that's just the one thing you don't want to have. You want to be able to kill these things as quickly as possible. If you can get into this link, which is link 3, fast enough, it'll insta spawn. It has it's a 50-50 chance of it happening. So what happens is, if you don't get it, then the mobs won't summon back straight away after you kill them. There'll be a little bit of a delay, and that slows down your EXP. So what you want to do is try to get in there as quickly as possible, and then buff up in there, and then go on from there. So it'll give you the best opportunity to get the most out of this party quest. This next area is Rudabasemps. They are level 120, and I believe the the quest to start doing the Rudabasemps quest is 125 or 120. You get the quest in your light bulbs called Urgent Summons, and then you're able to do it. With these imps, you're able to go in and repeat them over and over again unless you actually beat the boss, so I do not suggest you go in and actually kill Vellum. You just go in, kill all the imps, and leave. So I wouldn't do this for that many levels. I'd probably just do it from, you know, maybe 125 to 140 with HS as well. So yeah, you just need another person to come in with you. You leave, and then you can go straight back in. And all you have to do is keep buying keys. So it's a nice way to train, and they give about 24k EXP per kill. So it is pretty decent EXP, but again, there's other things you can do like the PQs, but if you can't find anyone to PQ with, then yeah, I'd suggest doing these ones. So yeah, again, I didn't do them on the Corsair. I was just trying to work out what level they were. I was just checking that I had my name and HP on, because I was trying to work out what level, as it wasn't saying exactly what they were. I wasn't sure whether it was determining on like the level of the party or not, but it's not, so they're 120. And yeah, so don't spend too much time on these things. Just do them if you don't have any other options. So if there's no one PQing, if you can't do EvoLab fast enough, and you do have another computer or person that can go with you, just go do these. So yeah, I'll move on to the next area. So yeah, the next area that we'll go on to is Dimension Invasion. You can do this PQ from level 140 onwards. It's one of those PQs that, yeah, you can do after level 200 as well. Obviously I'm doing it here. I don't tend to do it that much because I either do Horntail or yeah, Romeo Juliet PQ or EvoLab. So I'll go into Horntail after this PQ, just to show what it's like for a low level character to do it. But yeah, it's an okay PQ, but it's kind of it's probably better to do with a group of people rather than by yourself, because the little bar under the timer there, if it gets all the way to the right, then you fail. So you're not only battling against time, you're battling against the amount of mobs that are in the map. So if too many mobs spawn and you can't kill them fast enough, then you fail, and you can only do this PQ 10 times a day. So yeah, I'll just leave it there. It's not one that I tend to do that much. And now we just get on to Horntail. Now, I'd chuck this in here because it's not really like the best training advice, but if you're bored and want something else to do in between training, Horntail is a lot easier to get into now than it was before. They've changed it so you don't have to do the pre-quests on new characters. You can just walk straight in. You only need one person in your party to go and do it. So yeah, it's pretty easy to do. All you need to do is just go to Leafree, teleport to the place, or walk to the place, however you do it. And yeah, it's good EXP, but it's probably just something to break up your training regime if you're on a 2x card or something like that. I got, well, Steve came along with me, and Tristan came along and did HS, so that was making it more beneficial. And yeah, Horntail, it's I tried CHT before this. It didn't go down very well, but Horntail, for characters that probably have between a 200 and 300k range, it's you know, doable, and it's fast enough EXP. As you can see, it's lagging a bit again because this was taken off my stream. So yeah, it's a good boss, and yeah, you can get yourself a pendant as well. Not really the pendants are that great anymore, but it's still something to get for your character before you get your actual. If you're not doing like a proper strong character with this and you just want to equip, it's extra stats, extra attack if it's a CHTP. But yeah, so you just summon it and you just go through the normal routine of beating it. There's no glitches with it anymore, which is really good. And just remember to bring all cures, which I did not do. So yeah, you just work through the main body. Yeah, the bar's moving pretty slowly for me, but it's just because I'm outside the. Well, I'm not exactly the same level as it. I'm only missing a little bit, so yeah. But as you can see, EXP from the legs is pretty good, and then yeah, it just keeps on going up. But yeah, I just did this to break up between doing EvoLab and other stuff. So I was doing EvoLab before this, and then I went back to EvoLab just to get to 160, and then I moved on to really the final training area for everything. And yeah, I forgot about the tail. And then Tristan res me on the tail. So yeah, not exactly the brightest moment of training, but I had a safety charm and a respawn token, so yeah, it was fine. Yeah, so second drill hole is pretty much the last training area for this guide, as well as being one of the last training areas in Maple at the moment. You can do another area in Destroyer Reef, but it's probably not as good as second drill hole. Like, I argue that, you know, second drill hole is the best map at the moment because it is a small map. You can almost solo it by yourself, and with Kana and Kishin, it is a pretty good spawn. So yeah, I'll probably leave it here with Horntail and move on to the final area and talk about that. And yeah, here we are in second drill hole. As you can see, it's a good map. You can sit your mules up on the platform up there. I've just put my Kishin and HS up there. I've got my Xenon attacking with me, as well as yeah, the spawn being increased with Kishin, obviously, and I'm just trying to work out like what's the best way to train in this map for a Corsair. I did end up getting a pretty good tip from someone where you'd sit on the top platform and face you'd sit on the left side and you'd face right and fire over to the right side. But yeah, I was just trying out a number of different things. But yeah, this is probably, it's really good EXP up to level 200, and then it starts to slow down because the curve starts to go up, obviously, and make it harder to level. But yeah, it's a good area. It's honestly, I like it better than Hall of Honor because it's less movement. You can train with two people. One person can take the left side, the other person can take the right side. If they have to go AFK for a bit, they can jump up on the platform, and then you can take both. You know, it's not that much movement compared to Hall of Honor, where you had to keep going up and down and working the sides, and then trying not to fall off the edge as well. So yeah, the only thing you have to be cautious of, especially in this map, is the elite mobs that spawn. And I think elite bosses are common in here as well, and they can kill your mules pretty easily. So yeah, that's it for this training guide, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, I'll see you guys later.